All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, and good evening, good day to everyone who has attended for to attended today's webinar. Yeah. So yeah, Professor, let's do a mic and camera check together with our attendees for today. So just to confirm, can you see me, Professor, right? And hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. And can you take control of the slides, perhaps, Professor? Can we do some testing on that one? Can we test if you can take control of the slides?
I'm just wearing my hearing aid, Mervin.
Okay, no problem. All right.
You can start now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, can we test, Professor, if you can take control of the slides, perhaps, from your
Yep.
end? All right.
I
Thank
can.
you.
I can. I can. Can you see it? I'll
From
take
my end,
control.
yes,
Just a
please.
minute. Give
Sure,
me 1
sure,
second.
sure.
I'll take control.
All right, cool.
Now I
Thank you
have
so
I
much,
have to
Professor.
press. Just a minute. I have to press that 3 times, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Magnify slide.
Yeah, so you have the option to magnify
Yeah.
the slides if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted the full one. I think view slide or translate slide. Is it magnify or hide presenter view? Hide presenter view. Yep, that's the one. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, cool. And then, yeah, let's ask our audience as well if they can actually just take control of the slides. Thank you, Professor. Let's ask our audience if they can actually see and hear us and, of course, view our slides from their end. Attendees, can you send us your thumbs up on the chat box if you can actually see, hear, and view the slides on our screens? Of course, see the presenters today. Thank you.
Hello, can someone see the slide? And
Yes. Can someone see the
okay,
slides, please? Send us
just
a thumbs up on the chat box to confirm. Thank you so much, attendees.
yep.
Thank you, Kimoy. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. How about the others? Can we see a thumbs up, perhaps, from your end? If you can see and hear us from your end, and of course, view the slides on the screen. All right. So yeah, yeah, silence means yes. So I assume, Professor, they can actually hear us, and of course, view the screens and of course see us on the screen. Okay. So yep. Yeah, let's do a little housekeeping. So before anything else, we would like to request everyone to please, turn off those notifications from your end so that you'll be able to have a laser focused attention to this webinar. And of course, we will have a short Q&A session after the presentation. And there is a Q&A section on the upper side of your screens. If you wish to if you want to raise questions to the presenter, please kindly post them on the Q&A section. Thank you so much. And yeah, for everyone who actually um, registered for this webinar, you'll be able to receive a copy of the PDF slides of the presentation as well as the video recordings. This will be sent to you 2 days in the next 2 business days. All right. Thank you so much. Just kindly check your junk mails as well and your email. Usually our emails go straight there. Just kind of monitor them out. So yeah, for today's topic, let me just say for today's topic, that would be Doctoral Seminar 10. So AI tools for academic research, leveraging AI for literature reviews, data analysis, and research organizations. So this will be presented to us by Emeritus Professor Akhtar Kalam. He is an EIT Emeritus Professor, and we will be able to get to know him better afterwards, okay? In a few minutes. All right, so just a sec, just to this one. All right, so about EIT. So EIT is an engineering school based in Australia. We have campuses in Perth, Western Australia. We have Melbourne in Victoria, and recently opened our Brisbane campus in Queensland. We specialize in engineering courses. So for those who have, what are the courses that we are offering at EIT. So we have wide range of programs. We have professional certificate course, diplomas, advanced diplomas. We also have our undergraduate certificates, bachelor's degree, graduate certificates and diplomas, master's degree, and of course the highest level of qualification, doctorate of engineering. So these programs are actually industry-oriented programs, which are designed by industry experts. So we make sure that the students are actually equipped with the cutting edge skills, which are valuable to the employers after completing the course. And these programs are also accredited by the national government of Australia. And of course, some of our programs are recognized under 3 international engineering accords, namely Dublin, Sydney, and Washington. So these courses are also being delivered by industry experienced lecturers, which means these are being delivered by highly experienced engineers and subject specialists with applied knowledge lecturers. Okay, and these are also delivered by through a unique delivery model such as live and interactive webinars, and of course an international pool of expert lecturers, dedicated learning support officer, something that we are proud of, state of the art such as hands-on workshops and remote laboratories and simulation softwares. Now let's talk about our presenter for today. So Professor Akhtar Kalam. Professor, would you like to introduce yourself perhaps to give us more
I
detailed about you?
okay.
All right,
First of
thank
all,
you.
I'm taking control. Is that all right?
Yes, Professor, please do. Thank you.
Um, okay. Can you see my slide moving? Is that all right? Is the slide moving?
Yes. Yes,
Good.
I can see it from my end. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome everyone. Welcome participants. Welcome all the delegates. Welcome everyone to this particular, my last of the series for 2025. This is the 10th one that I'm doing. So welcome to this wonderful morning in England. I am sitting at the moment, and it's very early in the morning, so excuse me for my hoarse voice. I am Akhtar, and I've been with EIT for a very long period of time. Besides that, I'm editor-in-chief of Australian Journal of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. I have distinguished professorship in number of countries, which includes Australia, India, Malaysia, and Oman. I published more than 600 papers and 29 books, and about it says 50, now it's 60 postgraduate research students have completed their program. Most of them have done their PhDs, and currently I'm supervising another 12 of them, both in EIT and Victoria University, which is my former institution. Now, besides that, I'm also a consultant for the electricity supply industry in Australia and overseas. As far as my education is concerned, I got my first degree from India, then the second also from India, which is in engineering, and then I had my master's from United States and my PhD from England. I'm a member of many of these professional organizations, and I hope I've made enough of my own, blowing my own trumpets, and so Mervyn, I'll start now my presentation. So as you can see that uh, what we are going to do today is a pretty long stuff, but I'll try and make sure that we finish in 45 to 50 minutes time. But basically, we'll cover everything on AI. Remember one thing, AI can definitely simplify, accelerate, and improve the quality of your doctoral research workflow. That definitely is there. Remember that. AI is not your enemy. AI is your friend. You should use it. But the difference is that use it sensibly. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so don't blindly follow AI. Don't blindly follow what AI tells you. Use sensibly, or else you'll be caught in plagiarism or some sort of software tool, whether it's Turnitin or whatever it is, will catch it, and you will not be able to submit your doctoral thesis, even in your own institution, and definitely in EIT, you will not be able to do it unless and until it goes through the Turnitin similarity check. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, right, don't blindly follow it, right? There's no doubt about it. AI is very powerful. It can speed your things up, but use it with caution. And this is what people normally forget. They forget that there is truth, but they forget that some of them might be wrong. You can take that example of mushroom that I'm showing, you know. Yes, you can ask the question, is this mushroom edible? And AI will tell you yes, but don't forget it can be a poisonous mushroom. That is what it is. So that is where the thing comes in, that it doesn't tell you all the details that is there. So remember also, AI can make mistakes. AI is not something which will not make mistakes. So you still need to read it, test it, and understand it. And that is what is the difference. It's only reliable as the data and logic it was trained on. I've seen a lot of people take AI output as absolute gospel truth, whether it's code, facts, and advice. However, some AI provides answers that are confidently incorrect. So uh, testing it blindly, it'll create technical debt and can lead to hours of wasted time, or worse, your production issue. So you use your AI to assist, not to replace your judgment. Then, as I mentioned, my next that AI is a tool, it's not a teacher. I'll come back to your questions in a minute. Sorry, after the presentation, because I can't do three things at the same time. So we'll come back to your question. Please keep that question parked. So AI is a tool, not a teacher. Okay, there's no doubt, as I said, it can speed things up, right? And there's no doubt that you can use it, but use it with caution. That's all I'm trying to say. Use it with caution. You still need to read it, test it, and understand it. Remember that. So remember that very clearly. So uh, what you do is that verify everything before using it. Cross-check it. Understand the context, because AI does not know that it predicts. It just takes from what it has been, what it has experienced, what it has been trained to do. So it generally generates code or explanation, but you should always, as I said, run it, test it, think critically. Because at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. It's not a teacher. It can assist you in thinking, but it can never replace a teacher. Remember that. So now my question, which is always asked, is what is this Gen AI? People talk about Gen AI. And I want to give you a bit of explanation of Gen AI. First of all, what is AI? AI is in which we call artificial intelligence. It's a machine perceiving, synthesizing, and inferring information which has been stored in there. And then there's a difference between traditional AI and Gen AI. The traditional AI is designed to respond to a set of inputs which performs a specific task by relying on explicit rule. Like it can be a voice assistant, like Siri is there. You've seen in your mobile phone, Siri keeps on coming in. Siri is there, Alexa is there. Google search algorithm is there, basic plagiarism detection is there, basic text editing software is there. We already have these things at the moment, the traditional AI. The new thing which has come is Gen AI. This is what is capable of generating or creating something new. Example, it can create text, it can create art, it can create protocols. And this is all based on single input, which is prompt, by learning from patterns and structure. That is what is the difference between the Gen AI and the traditional AI. Now, what is this Gen AI tool? This is fundamental. Just look at this example. Like in the kitchen, you have all these tools. You've got a can, you've got a knife, you've got a scissor, you've got a spoon, you've got a tin cutter. These are all available. What will you use to open that can? So this is an object that helps you accomplish a task. There are three things that I've given in the picture. If you look carefully, I've shown you three things. There's a knife, there's a spoon, and there's a tin cutter. Okay. Now, which one will you use? Now, you asked, what was it designed for? What was this tin designed for? How can you optimize the use of those three things that you have? What are the non-intended uses? What should you be used for? So you have got a lot of things. How to open a tin can is depends on that three things that you can use, but which one will you use to open that tin can? Naturally, the can opener. Now, what is an AI? Especially, why do I want to stress that AI can be used in academic research? And why AI? So the question that comes is, why do we want to explain AI? Okay, there's no doubt about it. There is an explosion of scholarly publications. You're talking in terms of millions of publications which are there. And you, as a PhD candidate, a DEng candidate, whatever you are, you have got time, which is a constraint. Especially if you are doing DEng at EIT, you will have, it's a very structured program. And within 3 years, you have to finish. It is not like a PhD where you can take 20 years to finish a PhD. Here, you've got a very, very, very structured program that you have to follow. So you've got this time. Within 3 years, you have to complete this program. So you need to have precision, synthesis, and insight. So with that in mind, the whole pattern has changed completely. First thing which everyone does in a doctoral program is to look at literature review. Then you do the collection of your data, you do the analysis of your data, then you do all the writing, referencing, and organization, and then you do the visualization and presentation. So remember, once you have defined your problem, you have to do data acquisition and preparation, you have to do the development and training, you have to do evaluation and refinement, then you do deployment, and then you use the machine learning operations. So once you have to do those things, you find that uh, the whole challenge is that there's so much overload, and AI is definitely going to help you synthesize the relevant literature efficiently. Now, the first thing I want to do is to explain to you is um, is the literature research. Remember, many people do not understand why should I be doing literature research? Why should I be doing literature review? Remember, this is not just your experimentation and your computer simulation or your hardware simulation. You have to do a synthesis of the whole problem. So you have to do what other people have done before. So this is where the beauty comes, that you have to come with something new. And definitely the doctoral program is the highest qualification that is there. And to get that highest qualification, you have to reach that standard, which is way above what is expected in your undergraduate program or in your master's program. So your literature review is more of a critique and synthesizing more than anything else. And therefore, once you have synthesized other people's work, you can create your own uh, niche area by which you can say that this is the research gap and this is what I'm doing. So fundamentally, what you're going to do, you map your workflow. You look at all the, you map it up. You look at semantic search, look at the keyword searches, and look at all the various tools which is there, which is the papers which is there. There's no doubt about it. Other people have done work. You are not Einstein. Other people have done work. You have to look at what work other people have done. So you look at all the papers which is connected to. You will find when you are doing your DEng work, you will find hundreds of publications. Now you have to sort out the good, the bad, and the ugly in there. So there also you have tools like Research Rabbit, you've got Elicit, etc. Now, if you look at the summary of all those things, you find what are the seed papers. And I remember when I was doing my own doctoral program, I had in those days we didn't have all these wonderful tools like Gen AI, etc. We used to use cards. And that card, I used to sort out which is the good paper, the bad paper, and the ugly paper. And therefore, I had three bunches. So you find which is the seed paper, then you explore where the citations have been, and then you do with what the big paper collections are, and then you do the short reading list, and you keep on taking notes because these notes will come handy when you're writing the first chapter or the second chapter where you're doing the literature review. So tools which you can use is Scholarcy, Explain Paper, ChatGPT, Size Space, or you can use all sorts of automatic summarization, paraphrasing, and key point extraction. Now, the so remember one thing, and that is there's no doubt about it that every stage you will find that AI can definitely support you. Whether it is in machine learning operation, where you have to look at the process of managing the machine learning cycle, whether it's deployment and monitoring purposes, you can take tasks as experimental tracking, you can look at keeping tracking of experiments and results to identify the best model. So, uh, in fact, what you see very clearly that how these models will help you, especially when you're looking at NLP. The NLP is the natural language processing, because that helps you in analyzing, understanding, and generating human language. These tools are very widely used for sentimental analysis, text classification, machine translation, and conversational AI. So uh, when you're doing this critical reading with AI, you can look very carefully. You can do all these reasoning, analysis, thinking, evaluation, and analyzing, solution, problem solving, decision making. All that critical thinking can all be covered with that AI. So AI can definitely help you analyze argument strength, find out where the gaps are. That's very important where your research is going to be. If you are doing exactly what other people have done, that's not the original research. And remember, right in the beginning, I told you, you have to do what is original research. So you have to find what the original research, if there is any biases. So this is where you can use ChatGPT, where you can identify the weaknesses in your methodology. Okay, so any complex papers and comprehension which are there, all that can be accelerated substantially with the help of this chat GPT. Now, how do you organize the literature? uh, Remember, I've told you very clearly, you have to engage critically, but do not do it blindly. Remember, I use the word critically and blindly are two opposite phrases. Okay, I'm encouraging you to use it critically, right? But do not rely on it blindly. So use it as if you've got a discussion partner. So you can see that You can use a lot of tools, and Zotero is there, EndNote is there, Mendeley is there, AI plugins is there. Most of my students use AI for EndNotes as one of the things for doing all their referencing work. It's a very nice tool which most of the doctoral students use. And you can do that for tagging, clustering, citations, and such type of suggestions are there you can use it for. Now, the research question. This is an important factor, right? What you have to do is you've got your general topic. You have to come with this critical 5 to 6 questions that your whole research is going to be based in. And I tell my students all the time, that that your idea when you've got a your thesis title is there, you know roughly what you're going to do. So you've got a vague curiosity, but that you have to sharpen it, and you have to make it some testable question. So this is where you can bring Chat GPT into it or elicit, where you can narrow it down. Remember, you have to do it in a particular period of time. You do not have 20 years to do your doctoral program. I told you, if you're doing DEng program, which is very structured, you only have 3 years. So narrow it down, narrow it down. All the broad ideas you've got, you have to narrow it down because it has to be completed in a particular period of time. Identify your research gaps and suggest measurable variables. So, and if you're doing the quantitative data analysis, especially when you're looking at data reprocessing, feature selection, and visualization, use AI, there's no problem. And some of the tools that you can use is Google Colab, Jupyter, Copilot, ChatGPT, Code Interpreter. I mean, I use Copilot all the time. Nowadays, Copilot has become part of even your Google. There is Copilot. So you see that there is a lot of scope where you can, from a vague curiosity, you have made it into a very sharp, testable question. Now, then what happens is that you're trying to understand, and you're trying to understand. Remember, AI will not replace your statistical understanding. It just automates the repetitive steps. So when you're looking at this, AI will definitely identify themes in interviews or open-ended response much more faster than what manual coding can do. And if you look at this particular example that I'm showing you that AI can be used for data reprocessing, for feature selection and visualization. And again, the tools that I've told you about. Now, in the qualitative one, in the qualitative one, you can see that you can communicate very clearly all your research very effectively. And the tools that could be used is NVivo, AI coding assistant, Quirkos, ChatGPT, text analysis. And all that can be taken as a theme extraction or sentiment analysis or topic modeling. Okay. Again, in data visualization, I keep on, because this data visualization will help you communicate your research finding effectively. And that's why that NLP would come very handy. That's a natural language to chart. And the tool that you can use is Tableau AI, ChatGPT, Python or Matplotlib or Data Wrapper. Now, the interesting part. How do you write and draft with AI? Now, as now you're going to use the Chat GPT, for example. There are other things like Grammarly, Go, WordTune, Notion AI. But remember, when you're writing it, say you do a Chat GPT and you write a question. Hi, please write about 3 questions in intro to a blog post about AI prompt. And immediately it comes with three sentences. Look at what ChatGPT responses. Look at that box I've given you. It tells you, it gives you three sentences clearly about AI prompts. So that is that should be a initial stage which will actually tell you that um, that these are the three sentences that come for AI prompts. So it helps you in drafting. It just gives you the first feeling, and now you can work on it. So then what happens is that I've got AI for citation and referencing. Uh, as I mentioned, many of my students use EndNote, and it's very important that you realize that. But that's not the end of it, right? You can use again AI integrated citation managers, and look at this example that I have given. Okay, if you look at it carefully, the example that I have given. Um, and you can see that how it is given over there. It tells you who is the author. Remember, look at the style. Use APA referencing and look at that, or you can use IEEE one, whichever one you want to use. But look at the referencing style. You got the author's last name and the initial, the year of publication, what's the title, where is it published, and the details of the publication. Also, it has been taken from the website and the details of it. And there, that's an APA style, if you look at it carefully. So you can use Research GPT, Paperpile, or Zotero AI, and it does all of these together. All the automatically, it automatically does all the formatting references, whether it is APA, IEEE. I forgot about the Harvard. Harvard is another one. Whichever one you are comfortable with. I, as an electrical engineer, always prefer the IEEE style, but you can use the most common one that everyone tries to use, API referencing. Now, how do you do the organization? Because remember one thing you have to make clear, that you have to have all these things into visual decks very quickly. And that's where uh, tools like Notion, AI, Obsidian, Sprintal, ChatGPT plugins come in, and that gives you the knowledge for graphing and research notebooks. So it's helping you accelerate your research. So all whether you're managing your tool, your references, or draft, all is done in one workspace. Now, if you're looking at um, how you do your presentation and visualization, and again, number of tools are there, my friends. And a tool could be Beautiful.ai, Tome, Gamma.app, Canva Magic Presentation. There are a number of tools, right? And it automatically generates academic visuals, and it gives you presentations in a jiffy. Important thing, academic integrity. Uh, my friends, I will tell you right in the beginning, plagiarism is not allowed anymore in whichever part of the world you are in. And definitely at EIT, we take plagiarism very seriously. If the Turnitin comes with a similarity level of more than 20%, you will not be allowed to submit your doctoral thesis. So avoid plagiarism, my friend. This is only Turnitin I've talked to you about. Then there is Gen AI generated. Now Turnitin also has how much similarity is there in using Gen AI. And that too comes, and it comes with very funny figure. You might have Turnitin of 20%, but Gen AI talks about 90%. So you have to be very, very careful. If it's 90%, no way on the earth you will be able to allow to submit that doctoral thesis. So do not be very careless about it. Do not use things that without proper referencing, without proper citation, without proper understanding of what you have written, and do not just completely blindly follow it. Do not just do it, and do not be over reliant on it, because there are tools. Turnitin automatically nowadays has AI detection. GPT-0 is there also, and we all use it. I, as an academic, automatically, I don't have to do anything in our system. Automatically, whenever someone makes a submission, whether it's a PhD work or a DEng work or a master's work or a bachelor's work, whichever work is there, automatically it tells me the Turnitin score and Gen AI score. Automatically it tells me. So I know exactly that this person has copied from somewhere. And therefore, it becomes very difficult for you to be able to submit. If you can't submit your doctoral work, there'll be no recognition of your research. So remember, every institution, whether it's CIT or any universities in the world, everyone is using ethics. Ethics has become a very important tool uh, because uh, you have to understand that these ethics which is there uh, is such that uh, we want to make sure that this is your work and not someone else's copied work. And academic integrity is a word that you will understand very clearly when you are in these institutions, when copied work is not acceptable. Then there are limitations and risks, my friend. You have all these tools, right? But you must be transparent, especially when you're writing or analyzing. Okay. But then there are some limitations and risks. You can have a bias in data and models. You can have hallucination and inaccurate output. You can have confidentiality issues. These are the problems. Um, so, be very careful of that. Biasity is not actually acceptable anywhere. You might have some biasity of your own, but you have to be very critical about it. So inaccurate outputs are not acceptable, especially if you're doing research in the medical area and all these new vaccine, etc., development, and you came up with inaccurate results, you can kill so many people. So you have to be very careful that you don't put fictitious results. And confidentiality is a very important thing. Do not breach confidentiality agreement. Then I give you, we have talked about all these AI tools, right? Uh, and there's a workflow that you can follow. Remember that these workflow, which is there, um, uh, is such that you understand whatever area you are in. Say, even if you are in business area, and I give you a non-research type of area, and look at how they do the integration. You can identify your high impact workforce. Then you can evaluate the data, which is the quality and compliance. And then you can choose the right tools and platform. And then you can do the piloting and validation. And then you can train and do onboard teams. And all that can be integrated into one thing. So you define your topic. That is very clear. In the beginning, it should be very clear what is your topic. Remember, your topic should be such in a doctoral program, do not use more than 21 uh, words in the topic. Don't make it very long topic and don't make it very short. Don't make three-word topic. It should be reasonable number, but it should be self-explanatory. You can use AI for scoping review. You can analyze data with the help of AI. You can draft and visualize your finding, and you can do review and finalize it manually. Now, what are the AI tools for validation purpose, especially if you're looking for text generation? What are they and how can they work? And currently, there are a lot of tools which is there. One of them is LLMs, which is large language modeling. You may also, as I've told you, NLPs, which is natural language processing. And these can interpret, interpret and generate human-like text based on patterns and information which they've learned from training data. So there are LLMs and NLPs which will help you, and that's very human-like. It's not something which is artificial. Now, as I said that there are language tools, my friends, and these language tools are there because uh, that you have transparency in your system, and these are there to assist you, not to make it. They are not authorities. You always have to validate, validate, validate. I keep on talking about it. Remember, these language tools lack the real world understanding. They only mimic human speech. That's all they do. On their own, they generate answers based on learned patterns. They do not do comprehension. You have to do the proper comprehension, and you have to do all the fact checking. And that was the important thing. Remember, the when we're talking about proper comprehension, which is not done by these generated words, is like reasoning. You have to do the reasoning. You have got the knowledge. You have got the representation. You have got the common sense. You have to do the planning. You have to do the learning. You have to do the communication in natural language. And you have to integrate all of this. They are the statistical model learning patterns between words. Without a separate layer of verification from an updated source, output will become unreliable. So remember, you have to have a reliable output. Then, as I just mentioned, LLMs only give you information which is shaped sentences. Um, and I'll give you some examples of the GPT-4 or GPT-4o. You can see what was it trained. It was trained to do analysis and generate human-like text or patterns or information, but there's no true comprehension, nor it does fact-checking. So what did the training data do? They look at the websites which are there currently. They look at Wikipedia. They look at Common Crawl, which is the archive of web page data for 8 years or 9 years, and look at internet accessible books, which is there in public domain. So, and constantly they are generating information, and there's always a knowledge cut up. Like for GPT-3, this was September 2021. Most popular one is GPT-4o, which gives you October 2023. GPT-4 Turbo, which goes up to December 2023. So update is happening every time. So GPT used 45 terabyte of data in its initial training set. So new features have been added like Search GPT, Deep Research. They all are integrated in online search services. Who owns the training data? So this can be claimed that training material was publicly available with open access license. You can't use that example saying that this is open access, so I've just copied it. If it had a copyright permission was requested, for other companies, language can be vague or hard to find. So copyright protection is for data mining is also very complex. Current legal claims are also very, very open, especially in OpenAI's statement. Remember very clearly, copyright breaches are not acceptable. In my when I look at my data and I check that my data is protected or not, use it in training set. If it's a non-enterprise option of Chat GPT, then there's an opt-out option. So you can turn off the chat history. For ChatGPT, Team Enterprise, and API does not train on business data. You can use your own input and output, how long the data is to be retained. Who produces it? Who owns the product? It is ChatGPT, GPT, OpenAI. It can be anything. And that is where it states that the author, question answer, owns that response. But copyright registration laws may not recognize it. And if you breach the copyright restriction, your institution would be heavily fined. Now, if you're using AI tools for text generation, and I want to give you the pros and the cons, this is a very important slide I'm showing you. The pros are that definitely there is an improvement in your language when you're doing the modeling and transition. Definitely efficiency is increased. I've told you very clearly, because you do not have to do the monotonous labor intensive tasks which I had to do when I was doing my doctoral work long time back. Definitely it helps you summarize your text. Definitely it does transcribe your audio. Definitely it does your automation of all your transaction. Definitely it does editing of your content. But remember, there is a speed in memorizing and analyzing the data, because you want to have optimized searches, which you have done. It has helped you in idea generation, and you have organized large amount of data, and you've got easy access to it. That is the good part. The bad part, the cons. There's a limit of training. LLM can only train, and they have a cut-off date. As I just showed you, ChatGPT was a ChatGPT 4 and other things. There are some set dates. And then ChatGPT Turbo. That's December 2023. 24, what has happened? 25, what is happening? It keeps on changing. Remember, there's misinformation. There are some false and inaccurate infos due to inherent errors data set. LLMs cannot fast check training info. Disinformation is there. There's not only limitation in training, misinformation is there, disinformation is there. The disinformation is deliberate. And we call it AI hallucination. LLMs respond based on patterns and association. They are not based on facts. And the fourth thing is biased information. Because the training set and lack of transparency, LLMs cannot perpetuate biases, whether it's gender bias, ideological bias, racial bias, whatever bias you can think of. The fifth thing is copyright. I use the word copyright very strongly, because that is where the privacy concerns are there and unwanted data mining is there. Who owns that? That's $1 million question. And whether you are using it for fair purpose or not. So the last thing is ethical. Okay, if we have not trained you for a research degree which is unethical, okay, then we have not done the job. You have to stick to the ethics. You have to have philosophy and environmental points. Then, and some of the examples, I've asked this ChatGPT 3.5, and I've asked, can you write me a 2-paragraph information of HDAC inhibitors? And at least use one reference per sentence and claim made. So you can use citations. I've asked this question, references, citations, subscript, etc. Okay, and I've given everything. Say I said also use references for medical chemistry and pharmaceutical chemistry journals between the last 5 years, between 2017 and 2022. That's a 5-year period that I was interested in. And it came up. Look at that. ChatGPT 3.5 responded. It reads okay at first pass, but gets redundant and just spews back general statement and keyword from input text. From the first part, if you look at it, the green box that I'm showing you, it shows very clearly that it is very good. But as I keep on going, look at the one which is in yellow, references 1 and 5, which is there, which is in golden color, okay? They were made up by Chat GPT. They look very original. They look very true. But do they actually exist? You will find that they do not exist. I don't know where they got it from, but Chat GPT 3.5 gave me that. So you find that these two references, 1 and 5, although if I had used it blindly, I have used incorrect information. Now, always I told you, check for accuracy. Look at what appeared in Chicago Sun-Time. And they admitted that the summer book guide included fake AI-generated titles. They had to. It talked about heat index and your guide to the best summer, and it was created by a freelancer. The article suggested books from real authors that did not exist, revealing that the freelancer used AI and did not check the accuracy. And it was published not in normal newspaper, one of the highest read newspaper, the Chicago Sun-Time. Now the plagiarism, in Gen AI tools, the plagiarism is very important and someone can sue you, especially if you've used OpenAI and Microsoft over AI. And this is there is a problem of visual plagiarism problem. Uh, uh, Look at that. Some of the part which is there is right, the one that I've got in yellow. Okay, these are parts that have not been plagiarized, but the rest of them, which is all in red, has been plagiarized. Then you can see that again in Gen AI tool, you can use plagiarism. Uh, what counts as plagiarism is especially if you look at it, you find that the one which is in bloom is actually from Nature 20 and it's available, right? But rest of them, researchers argues over whether novel AI generated works use other ideas without credit. Okay, and this is the thing. It was done by LLM. Okay, writes and runs code by itself, writes the results as a research paper, but this was all AI generated. Therefore, there was not much truth in it. Also, GPT detection. There are tools, especially I've told you about the tools which is there, but most of them are not optimal. AI models aim for low perplexity and burstiness style, but perplexity is there. How confusing is this to the average reader? And there could be variation at word level. Burstiness could be there. How long and structured are sentences? The variation at sentence style could be different. So look at that. This picture that you can see, AI generated is 37%. So you find that that type of level automatically comes. Again, for GPT detection, GPT 0 detected it. You can look at originality AI and undetectable AI. Look at the two parts of the two blocks I've got on my left-hand side and my right-hand side. On the right-hand side is a mix of human and AI text, and it detected that there's 79% probability that uh, this paragraph or this part of the section or the right section has been plagiarized. 79% of this has been plagiarized, and it's all been generated by AI. Now the future trend is important for us to understand that because we have to understand how the emerging AI ecosystems is working, how this will reshape our research methodologies. Remember, my friends, Gen AI is great for hypothesis testing. AI copilots will be there for academic writing. It can be used very clearly as a research assistant, no doubt about it. So instead of having human RAs, we can use Gen AI as an RA. So my takeaway, and I come to the end of my presentation. I can tell you right now that AI can accelerate and augment research. It can definitely help you. You can use it for critical thinking, and ethical use remain essential. Essential that make clear that you have used it ethically and explore tools hands on. And with that, I conclude my presentation and thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so
Marvin, it's all
much.
yours.
Thank you so much, Professor. So now, well, so we will have a short Q&A. So while actually waiting for the questions, let me just take control of the slides, Professor. Just a sec. All right. So yeah, for our upcoming courses, we have our Doctor of Engineering online, which runs for 36 months, which will start this coming 28th of July, 2026. And we also have our on-campus Doctor of Engineering, that would be in Perth and Melbourne, August 4 of 2026. All right. So yeah, for the upcoming doctoral webinars. So just kind of check our website for the upcoming schedules. Okay. So yep, let's wait. I think we have one question, Professor.
Yes, I can see that
Mm,
Albert has asked a question.
mhm.
Albert says that he's an inventor and he was able to create an offline AI browser which ran fully in a browser, but the architecture is hard to explain to people. Can you help me? It's very hard to answer a question immediately, Albert, like that. Um, uh, the that you've got something which is there, which is running offline, unless and until you understand the architecture completely. But I can definitely tell you that you've done the right thing. You've created this offline AI browser. There's nothing wrong with that, and but the beauty is to explain to people. Then only people will accept your AI browser that you have created. Um, until the time you do not explain it properly, how will people be able to use it properly? So I think it's very important that you go through that browser that you have created, look at different cases, apply it in it, and see whether it's been detected by your AI generated tools. I hope I have explained to you, Albert. There was one more question which had been someone
Yes,
raised their hand.
Rehans. Yeah, let me just bring him on screen, perhaps. See.
Yeah,
Uh,
is
yep.
Kimoy
So
Kimoy
Kimoy.
Kimoy
Good morning,
Lotfik.
Kimoy. You can you enable to? All right. Cool.
Yes, thank you so much. In fact, I'm very grateful for the presentation from our Dr. Kalam. I appreciate so much. And also, I would love to thank the host, Mr. Marvin Yu, for hosting us in this very, very important session. In fact, I've loved it so much. My question, which I want to uh, maybe before that, the presenters talked about the AI, which is very important, and it is today that we are online because the AI has brought us into one global village. That's why we are here, all of us together. My question that I want to ask is that how how can AI be used in research undetectable? How can AI be used in research undetectable? Because in today's technology, we have realized that AI can do almost everything, and all the information in analyzing evaluation, we realize that AI can do it very fast. However much the doctor said that not everything is correct from AI. So when I'm using AI, and how can I use it intelligently without being undetected by either plagiarism tools? Thank you so much.
Uh, um, First of all, Kumio, thank you very much for your very kind words that you used about the presentation today. I really appreciate it, and thank you for that comment. The second part was your how can you do it without detection? Now, in the past, I'll tell you one thing. People did not know much about it, so it went undetected. And uh, but think about it consciously. If you have copied a work and then you have done you have just used it for your higher degree, or we're talking about the highest degree, not higher degree, the highest degree that you can get. That definitely hurt you at some stage. I can tell you, Kumar, also that there's no way in the earth that it will go undetected. If not today, you will be caught in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. I can give you one example, and this was in my own university. We had one brilliant student, and I don't want to give you more details than that. He was from overseas, brilliant, absolutely. During his PhD, he wrote 22 journal papers. He was not my student, but I was the head of department at that time, and and he used one chapter which was not necessary. He was working in microelectronics, and that chapter which he used was copied from some American work. The American university wrote to my vice chancellor and said that this has been copied completely from my work, which I did 4 years back. And do you know something, Kimo, that uh, I was asked by the vice chancellor to form a committee. I did form it, and I could not understand why that particular student copied it, because there was no necessity. I think he wanted to increase the volume of his work and show that that was his work. And it was a very fundamental thing that he had copied, but still it was a copied work. And did you know, after 4 years of his getting his PhD, we had to retract his PhD, and his PhD was cancelled. What I'm trying to say, Kumar, that you will be caught at some time. So don't see that, think that it can get away with it, right? You will definitely be caught. Um, so I'll tell you that. So don't try and do that. And the time and effort that you spend in getting this undetected type of tool, how you might as well do the work rather than waste your time in doing all these undetection. Is that clear to you, Kimo? Lord Fick, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing. I'm hearing. Thank you so much.
Please don't waste your time. Coming back to Albert, Albert has what he has done. He has summarized my work using his tool, and to be very frank with it, I really liked it. Actually, I've copied it down myself, Albert. Your work that the one that you have done, the summary of my presentation, and I'm very glad about it. But I can tell you one thing, my friend Albert, is that Run AI can do it. I mean, all my meetings that I have, all of them are AI assisted. Nowadays, secretarial work has become so easy. They don't actually do the minute taking. They use the Run AI, in which the gist of what you have done exactly has been generated. And even this morning, I was sorry, last night at midnight, I was having a meeting in my academic board at my institution in Australia. And I can tell you right now that it was generated exactly what you have done. So what you have done is a different method, and which cannot be detected. But I can tell you it can be done again by run.ai. I hope, Albert, I have explained to you what are the issues that is happening. But thank you very much. That summary that you have given about the whole presentation today is very appreciated, and I liked it. As a matter of fact, as I
Yes.
told you, I've copied it, Albert.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Albert, for engaging, and of course, Quimoy. And we also want one question, Professor, before we actually wrap up. So we have one from Jared here. He says, if someone spends 1 hour using AI for the paper writing, why would I, as a supervisor, send time to review this? Yet the researcher has done barely nothing. What happens to the research work? What's the value of publications are we producing? What the value of publications are we producing? That is from Jared Ngani. Thank you so much, Jared, for that question.
Um, First of all, I can't see the question. Where is it written, the question, my friend?
It's in the Q&A section.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
because I can't see it in chat box. Give
no
me 1
problem.
second. I
Sure.
want to read it properly before I answer it. I don't want to give a wrong answer without. Yeah, if someone spends 1 hour using AI for the paper writing, why would I, as a supervisor, send time to review this? Yet the researcher has done barely nothing. What happened? Then again, see more. What happens to the research work? What the value of publications are we producing? Um, Now, first of all, uh, when you are spending 1 hour using AI for paper writing, as a matter of fact, it might not be 1 hour. It can be done in 20 minutes, actually. So you can write that paper. But uh, and you say that the research done nothing, it just used AI to do the work. The value of the publication, believe me, I run a journal myself. I'm a chief editor of Australian Journal of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. And we have got a software called Thematic, um, and we immediately catch it. With this particular thing, Jared, that you talked about, I can tell you right now that it'll be caught in the initial state by our software. And if the percentage is greater than 20%, it'll be rejected. Between 20 and 30%, what I normally do is ask for a major revision, and above 30%, I reject that paper. So, Jared, I can tell you right now, that paper that you have produced in 1 hour using AI will be rejected immediately before it comes to my desk, which is the editor-in-chief desk. That paper will be rejected by the system. I hope I made myself clear. So there, and you say that uh, why would you as a supervisor spend time to review this? Um, no, it's your job. You are a supervisor, my friend. It's your job, Jared, to help your student to the right path. It's your job. Make sure that you correct that student. That student is going to make mistake all over the life. So as far as the publication is concerned, it won't be published, I can tell you. Most of the reputable journals, and look at Q1 and Q2 journal, will not accept that paper. I hope, Jared, I've made myself very clear.
All right. Thank you, Jared. Professor, can we accommodate one question? Just one question
Yes,
before
yes,
we go.
I've got no
Yeah.
problem.
All right. So this is coming from Shobna. Are universities generally using AI to check all the old PhDs produced prior to turn it in, and AI, etc.? It's coming from Shobna. It's in the chat box.
Just a minute. That's a very good question. That's a brilliant question.
Brilliant question.
Are university generally using AI to check all the old? No. The answer to that question is no. I wish they were, but Shobna, Shobna Bali, please remember that if the universities were to check all the old PhDs, the work will never finish. There are so many PhDs which has come out. Okay. But if someone is interested and finds it out and informs the university will definitely take action. No one wants to have bad reputation. Remember, there is QS ranking of the universities. And if their work in their universities is all plagiarized work, you will find the university will take action. Most probably, if I was the vice chancellor or the president of the university, I would retract the PhD immediately. Shobna, I hope I've answered your question. Chris, thank you very much, Chris, for the
Thank
wonderful
you.
word. Albert, thank you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I hope we can engage more, and the more we learn. Remember one thing, Albert.
Yeah.
As you are learning from me, I am learning from you too. I leave it to Marvin. Marvin, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you, everyone, for engaging with us today, and of course for spending your time with us. And Professor, my heartfelt thank you for being with us today. And yeah, we would like to request everyone. So please participate in this survey. This will actually help us, improve our services and of course our products to being offered here at EIT. So again, the link is on the website in your screen, as well as the QR code. So your feedback really matters. Okay, thank you so much, and again, thank you, Professor Akhtar. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of the day. Have a good one.
And thank
Cheers.
you very
Bye-bye.
much to everyone who has attended today's session. And Happy
Exactly.
New Year and season's greetings to all of you. Bye-bye.
Season's greetings. Bye bye.